That's what I'm trying to say. The problem doesn't lie with allowing people, and the problem lies with the strength in yourself, right? We have to hold ourselves accountable. There's a certain accountability that is necessary to grow in this area. We have to hold ourselves accountable and say, I shouldn't be folding under this kind of pressure, right? So if I do let someone in, I should be able to quickly realize if they're trying to take away from me or they're trying to add to my life and quickly make those adjustments. But I can't be afraid to let them in the first place. The true work happens when they're in the circle. If I let someone in the circle because at face value they seem like a great person, right? I shouldn't be judging them all off the rip, basically, is what I'm trying to say. If I let them in and they show their true colors and their colors that I can't work with, then changes might need to be made. But I can also make an attempt to help them understand their flaws are, right? What could potentially set somebody off. Now, if they're not willing to take in that information, then that is completely on them, right? I allow God to, I will pray for them and ask God to give them the awareness and the guidance that they need, right? But that's not up to me to decide whether or not someone is worthy just off of first interaction, right? I should be able to accept everybody upon first meeting them, right? And that is a big problem I have. And again, I knew I had this, but I didn't identify it as an issue. That is the problem. It's one thing to be aware of something, but if you can't be truthful and expose it for what it is, because now I see that it is an issue, it is a problem, it is something that can steer people away from even wanting to be near me, right? Because when it came to meeting new people, I was not super open. I was very closed off, and a lot of people would tell me, Isaiah, you don't have a very inviting personality. And I would say, well, okay, I'm not a very inviting person, right? And I was honest in that regard, but I didn't see it as a problem. That is the issue. I didn't see that it was an issue that I didn't have an inviting personality. I didn't see that it was an issue that I would have a face that would make you not want to approach me. I didn't see that as an issue. Now I understand that there is actually a problem that lies within that. Why should I should not want people to be afraid to approach me. I should not want people to feel as if they have to earn my presence, right? Because I am not that mighty of a person. I am not that powerful of an individual that someone should feel that they need to earn the right to be in my presence, right? So I didn't know I had this big ego, and this is an ego that I now have to actively work on dropping because this is a very bad thing. And never in my life did I think I would allow myself to drop this ego. Seriously, because that's something I worked hard to build. Come to find out I was building towards something that could be potentially detrimental to my growth, because when you have an ego, it's harder for you to learn. When you have an ego, it's harder for you to grow. When you have an ego, it's hard for you to connect. When you have an ego, a lot of things are closed off to you. You lose access to a lot of things. And when you have an ego, you also lose some of your relationship with God, right? Because there has to be a certain humility that comes within, a certain humbleness that you have to be able to submit yourself to be able to learn and grow. And I am now realizing that I was a struggle of mine, and now that I can open my eyes to it, I feel like I opened that that ability to follow, right? All my time in my life I've been growing to be a leader, and there's nothing wrong with being a leader. I think being a leader is a great thing. You should think like a leader. But at the same time, there has to be a certain humility and a humbleness inside of you that says, I know I am not the top of the crop. I know I am not the man. I am a man in this world. I have value for sure. I have a gift for sure that I can share with others, but I am not the man. I am not the one and only, and I am not an almighty power. I am just a man. No different from this man, no different from that man, no different from this woman, no different from that woman. I am an individual on earth just like they are. We all have different gifts to share within the world, but it is almost disrespectful for me to not allow others to experience my gift or to not experience the gift of others that can help all of us, right? So I have to let go of this ego to allow myself to connect with other people. I know that was a long talk, but I really wanted y'all to understand where I'm coming from when I'm reading these scriptures. Before I even read the scriptures, where I'm coming from